thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here for episode 470 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about lifting. My name's Tanner.
And my name is Tommy. Tanner, I'm just riding off a high from this pre-show we just got done with.
I feel looser with this pre-show now. Then once we hit the full show, I'm like, oh, I've already been podcasting.
We're like
for a while.
comedians. We kind of work some material in there. We know what's hitting and what's not. So we're just going into this, hit the ground running here. We've already been heckled and booed by the crowd multiple times, so they can't face us anymore.
We're like our own warmer up too.
We're our own opener here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that pre-show's lit. Is that what do kids say that something's lit?
Oh, I'm assuming they still do.
I've got a recording technical difficulty.
No.
Again.
No.
Yep.
No. God, no.
Well, this will all be caught then still on yours, right?
Oh, wait. Is this still the card issue?
Yeah.
You have not got a new card yet?
No. Well, it's worked the last 5 times, so I'm like, maybe I don't need it. It's going to
be the downfall of this show.
Yeah.
Just the $10 micro SD card that brings the show to a screeching halt.
All right. Everyone.
People are going to think this is the Let's Get Stupid show with all the technical difficulties every episode.
Everyone mark my words. Hold me accountable. By next week, I'll have a new micro SD card because I actually don't really want to have to mess with this again. And it's being finicky right now. So now I'll have to watch it out of the corner of my eye.
When you say it's being finicky, like it is recording or it's not recording?
No, it wasn't. I mean, it started recording, but when I say it's being finicky, like when I put it in, it reads, doesn't read, reads, doesn't read. Like it won't, it doesn't seat properly in the, I mean, that's what I assume almost that it's like. So at any point in time, I suppose it could quit working here again. So hopefully.
Well, that's reassuring.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it way more of a pain in the ass to edit it or anything either.
It does or doesn't?
It does.
Yeah. Does it help that it happened early?
I mean, yeah, it's better than that one. It was kind of mid-show for a little bit and then not, and I'm bouncing between 2 audio files. And
what'll really make it a problem is if it does it late, because I think when it happens, it doesn't save anything.
Well,
this would have been better talk for the pre-show, actually.
Yeah. I always got the Zoom recording to fall back on.
Yeah. So thanks everyone that tuned in for the pre-show. In order to get in on the pre-show, you actually have to be a supporting member. That's the only way you can listen along live and in the pre-show. This week's episode is brought to you by our pre-show. It's also brought to you by Juggernaut AI. Check them out over at juggernautai.app. Go to them on your web browser. That's where you can use the Massenomics discount code. It saves you 10% for the lifetime of your membership. Tommy, remind me, I can't remember the rules on this. Someone was asking me, if you sign up for a year membership, can you use the Massenomics discount code still or not?
I think you're supposed to be able to, but I don't know. I know there's some sticking point there that people have ran into before.
Big Ben says negatory, not on the annual. So it's only on the monthly membership. And then I do know you have to go to the web browser, but it's also within the web browser, you need to enter it in a certain screen, and I can't remember the details. Someone can, because Big Garrett was asking about it this week, and
was he trying to do a year? Is that why he was having issues?
It could have been a year was the issue, or I do know there's a specific screen you have to enter the discount code in, but I just can't really tell you what that's. I know it comes up about once every 2 months. Someone asks that same question. I know.
But we know it works because there's a lot of people that have it.
Yeah.
So we do know it works.
So what I would tell you is if you're signing up for monthly, you're on the web browser, and it's not working, you're on the wrong screen. That's my troubleshooting help.
And also make sure you're on that browser on your computer too. I think that might also play a factor in it.
Okay. housekeeping Juggernaut AI aside, it's just good programming,
dude. Well,
once you get signed up with discount code Massenomics, jump through those hoops, then that's when the fun really starts.
We'll talk about it more in the episode, but yeah, programming, top notch.
Yeah. Thanks Juggernaut AI.
Wait, is this my turn now? Is it I
Yep.
read the next one? All right. This episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Right now, for a limited time, Texas Power Bars is offering free shipping on all bars. That's right, free shipping, no code required. Just go fill up that cart, hit buy, check out, and the savings will rain down on you. If you need an idea on what to buy, I recommend starting with the original Texas Power Bar. You could take on Tanner's Grip Challenge, where you put 4 plates on the deadlift and add 10 pounds every week and see how far your grip will take you. It's the hottest new fitness craze. Everyone's doing it, and you can't do it unless you have an original Texas Power Bar. So that's a great place to start. If you already have one of those, maybe look at a Texas deadlift bar or a 29 millimeter Texas Power Bar. All great options as well. You can take advantage of this deal and browse their great collection at texaspowerbars.com. Thank you, Texas Power Bars.
That is I'm glad, great you brought it up. That is the, social media's hottest new strength trend. Sometimes
your
it's like
NGP
flipping a
novice
barbell
grip
on
progression.
the edge. Yeah. You have to do a double overhand 10 rep max deadlift.
On a original Texas Power Bar.
Preferably on a Texas Power Bar, a 28.5 millimeter. If you can't, no hook grip, no over under. It's just, and it's a 10 rep max, preferably on a 28.5 millimeter, because then it's apples to apples. If you don't have that, I suppose you can use a 29. A deadlift bar is cheating. You can't use that.
Deadlift bar is definitely cheating. And preferably you're just starting with 4 plates here, because that's kind of where the club begins.
The hardest part about the challenge is you really only get one shot at it a day. So if you overshoot your number, it's not like other grip things where you're just like, oh, let me try it 10 more times. You're going to be like you put on a weight and you only get it 8 and you just literally can't pick it up again. You're like,
you're screwed.
I'm not trying that again for another week.
Yeah, because you can't go back and do the 2 on its own. It's not, that does not count.
No, that doesn't pass. Then that doesn't hit the challenge. The challenge is to see what weight you can do for 10 reps, double overhand, no hook. No over under. No
God, that number for me is probably like 10 reps is the crazy part, because I don't ever do 10 reps of deadlift. I don't know.
It's not really like the deadlift part for.
Well, I'm just saying though, I've never had to hang
people, that's not going to be a limiter,
right? But I've never had to hang on to anything double overhand for 10 reps. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't know. That number for me is probably somewhere between 315 and 355, if I had to guess. It'd be somewhere in there.
Well, that's the other tricky part. If you do too much, you're not going to get 10 reps, and then it sucks. You're not going to, but if you do too little, you're still going to be like, if you're like, oh, I did that pretty easy, you're not going to be like, oh, let me load up 30 more pounds and do another set of 10. Like, your grip is going to be fatigued a little bit. So it's really, that's the game, I guess. It's the hottest new.
It is the hottest
craze.
Such a hot fitness challenge that even Texas Power Bars is making ads about or posts about it.
The original Texas Power Bar double overhand no hit hook grip buddy
caps
10
challenge.
Rep max challenge.
Did you see that? Was that an ad or just a post that they had where they reposted you?
That was just a post, I think, on that one. There has been ads, but they didn't use one of the double overhand.
There's a couple of people that were actually commenting about the grip, like they actually took it at face value. Because normally with stuff like that, people do not take it at face value. They say, oh, hook gripping, cheating, stuff like that. But there was people that were taking it at what you saed.
Yeah, like Cardillo belts.
Yes, that was the one. Like, unreal, I think is what they wrote.
Cardillo belts. We got a lot of bangerish stuff on today's episode. We have a ton of topics actually this week, don't we?
Actually a lot to talk about this week. Some are small things, some will take quite a while, but there is a lot here.
Did it snow in Sioux Falls at all?
Dude, nothing. Just rain. It's been so nice. You guys got dumped on, didn't you?
Yeah, I built a 8-foot tall snowman today.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Legit, people in the neighborhood were building snowmen, I guess. And I was like, you know what? We're building the biggest snowman Northview Lane has ever seen.
So how many snowballs are we talking here?
3.
All right.
The
So it was
the base one
classic.
probably is like a 30-inch.
So that thing could be there for another month still. The base one.
Yeah, it's big. Like I did the base until I literally could not get
Move
it to move anymore, and then I'm like, okay, here's our.
Did it
here's where it's
actually
gonna
use
be.
up a decent amount of snow in your yard?
Yeah, a
make the
lot of our
base?
front yard is
Exposed.
grass now,
That's good.
and there was a good amount of snow, but it's perfect snowman weather. Snow. It's just
it's
like,
so
and it's
wet
also
and
like
heavy.
not. It's not like nice out, you know. So I was like, we're out building a snowman in like a sweatshirt, basically,
Yeah.
because it's so nice. I'm like, oh, this is excellent.
Did you guys
snowman
guys
weather.
get like 6 inches?
I don't know what it was. I don't know. Everyone's like, it's a really wet, heavy snow, but
And you said-
I'm not sure what the
And you
number
said,
is.
yeah,
It's
we really needed this.
3 or 4 or 5, and then it was fun. They
Did school
didn't
get
call
canceled
school
there?
off. No, they
Oh.
didn't call. Every other school within a 100-mile radius, I think, was late or called off today.
Mm-hmm.
Ours, they just left go normal time,
Oh.
and then they called it out at noon
Oh,
once
okay.
the snow was mostly been done, and
once the damage had
I-
been done, they
it
said,
was
"Here you
fairly
go,
nice
get out into
It was
the
pretty
world."
nice out at noon, actually. But then it's like, here, now everyone figure out how to get your kids at noon.
Mm-hmm. It's always the fun part.
Like, yeah. It would have been easier had they just called it off, actually, rather than that. But hey,
You live and you
it
learn.
used to be a proper freaking country where we
Live,
didn't call
learn,
off
and
school
pass
for
on.
a little bit of snow. You got a can over there, or
Oh,
or
yes.
you had a bottle.
I got a bottle, and there's a couple things that make this bottle even sweeter. Well, first of all, what do we got here, Tanner? We got the Great Lakes Brewing Company Edmund Fitzgerald Porter.
Yeah, this was Curtis. It's got a nice picture right there of the SS Edmund Fitzgerald when it was still
Rocking and a rolling.
when they still had the shiny side up and the dirty side down, like God intended.
Yes.
But she's out there in the Witch of November. You can see it's just.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if that's what it was like on the SS Edmund Fitzgerald, the way it looks is depicted here, that would have
Hey,
been brutal.
They went on one hell of a final ride, didn't they?
I would have been seasick.
Said, "Who's got the Dramamine? I'm getting sick, boys."
Have you ever gotten seasick before?
No, I mean, I can't say I've spent a ton of time out at sea, but I
Yeah.
have been on a cruise once, and no, I never got seasick on the cruise.
I had to have talked about it somewhere in the backlog. I'm sure it was so memorable for me. There's no way I didn't discuss it. And I know we were podcasting at the time, but when I was in Boston, we went on a whale watching.
Oh yeah, I think you
adventure
did.
out
Yeah, and you
into
said
the
it was really rocking, right?
Oh my God, I was so seasick.
Yeah.
And I had never really experienced, I just been on little boats on lakes and crap like that, and it's never bothered me. But they were considering calling it off.
Oh, so you got
And,
to get the real experience then.
Yeah, so when they didn't call it off, and we went out there, and I mean, it was like 15 minutes of me staring out into the horizon in a cold sweat. I know I talked about it on this
Yeah, you
podcast.
did, you did.
Yeah, because it was it reminded me this. I know I said this, and still my memory is this. It reminded me of like a World War II movie scene.
Like a
Where,
U-boat
like,
going.
Yeah, well, it's just everyone throwing up. I mean, it was just like
okay,
there was
yeah.
at least 100 people vomiting in
man.
and on this boat. I mean, like people like laying on their sides. It looked like all these casualties because everyone was so sick. And I never threw up because I basically don't throw up. But I felt like I was going to for probably an hour. Where
And
I
how is
couldn't
Mary
shake
for
it.
all this?
Slightly better than me.
Okay.
Like I was hurting. I had this cold sweat thing going on that I could not shake for a while. All that to be said, let's dive into this thing.
It's
This is courtesy of Big Kevin.
it's making
from
this
the
a little
Arnold.
sweeter. Is that a
Oh,
twist cap or not?
I don't think it is it?
Lucky for me, I came prepared with one of these bad boys.
Oh, nice.
I haven't seen one of those in a while.
No, I got one, a different one. It's got my name on it though,
classic.
so you know it's good. I think this was a groomsman gift. You didn't give me this, did you?
I don't know, but in my mind, I was going to say it kind of looks like a groomsman kind of gift once your name's on it.
This is definitely absolutely a groomsman gift. First thoughts on the Edmund Fitzgerald Porter, courtesy of Big Kevin in Ohio.
Yep, I can taste the Lake Superior right in there.
It's a superior beverage, I know that much.
I do like a good porter. That tastes like a porter to me.
That's pretty good.
And the artwork is just top notch. So
yeah, the artwork is a 10.
Artwork is a 10 on our scale. That goes to 5.
Yeah.
So that makes the beer about a 3.5.
It's a bittersweet tribute to the legendary freighter's fallen crew, taken too soon when the gales of November came early. That damn witch of November. That's good. And also the bumper stickers were from the president of North Dakota.
I figured that when then I saw him posting them at his house.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking,
what do you
what
give
a
this?
coincidence.
I'm giving this a 3.5.
I'm a 3.5 all day on that. Yep.
It's pretty good. I'm
is.
borderline a 4. I'm going to stick at 3.5 just because, but it's, you know what? The Edmund Fitzgerald part is going to tip the scales for me. I'm giving it a 4.
Oh, God, if you're going with a 4, then I got to go with 4, I guess. You know what actually makes it even a little better, this whole experience, is knowing that I have something to set this thing on that's not my plain desktop.
Well, what are you setting it on over there?
Well, I don't know if you got this profile, but
Yeah.
if you had to guess how thick this thing is I'm holding is, what would you say?
That looks like approximately 3/4 inch.
And you are exactly correct. This is
Of
3/4
made in
inch,
the USA rubber.
100% genuine, premium horse stall mat.
Yeah.
And that is that's our coaster right there.
Yeah. This was the big mystery drop for the last several weeks, and we better recap what happened with this coaster.
Dude, okay, so this coaster, can we say, I mean, was it our fastest selling product of all time?
Yes. It's not like we had 10 of these for sale also. Like we had a sufficient, we had a similar to like a t-shirt drop amount of inventory on this, and it sold out completely in like 25 minutes, and that's never really happened before.
No, it sold out insanely fast. And like we'd been hyping it up. We've been talking about it a fair amount. But even going into it, we kind of did the thing at the last minute. We're like, I don't know. Maybe it's just too dumb. Maybe people won't care. And in 25 minutes, we were proven completely wrong that people absolutely love this thing.
Big Nate did fall into my trap. I knew someone was going to try and call me out on it. Our horse stall mats are, in fact, made in the USA. Some of the people, mine doesn't say it, but you can see when you start getting your coasters, some of yours will still have the made in the USA stamp on the back of it. A lot of these are made in Canada. We sourced 100% premium grade A American horse stall mats because we used to be a proper friggin' country. And we are once again.
Right.
Yeah, it was the fastest drop though ever, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I got to say, I've had these things on my desk now for a few days, and I love having this on my desk. It feels so premium and so nice sitting there.
Yeah. I'm actually I don't think I even saved one for myself, so I've been packing these up the last couple days, and I've got probably, I don't know, 10 to 20 sets left. So someone's getting a game worn coaster, and they're not even going to know it, that it was used on the podcast.
I got to say, we don't need to go too much inside baseball here, but the cutting on these is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah. So this is, now that this is live, we could talk about it a little bit. This was a very hard product for us to get made, much more complex than it should be.
And you would say, well, all you do is you take a horse stall mat and cut it into 4-inch squares and decorate it. And it's like, yeah, that's exactly what you got to do. And it's like everyone saw us coming, and once we said the idea, they just ran away. No one wanted anything to do with this.
No one was willing to cut this. Thank goodness for Hooterites.
Yeah.
A sentence I've said many times in my life. Thank goodness for Huda Rights.
it's you can always count on them. Yep. And I loved it, Tanner, when you said you called them and they're like, yeah, bring it here. We'll take it. Like they had done it 1,000 times.
Well, because we had other people that had the same machinery that they even had, and they were like, humming and hawing, or they're kind of like, no, I don't think we can really do it. And like them, literally, it was like 10 seconds, and they're like, yep, bring it over. We'll do it.
Of course, they know what a horse stall mat is. Like, there's no, you don't need to bring them up to speed on anything. And you hand delivered it, and what was it, like a day later? They're like, yeah, it's done. Come get it.
Yep. And maybe the funnest part was he had them on a pallet. He palletized them, and I brought the freestyle to pick it up. I dropped it off in my pickup, so he probably figured I was coming back in my pickup.
Set it in the bed of a pickup.
But I came in the freestyle, and he was like, kind of like, so I'm like, well, let me open the back and we'll see how close we can get the forklift. And he was like going to turn around the forklift and stuff. And then I looked at it, I'm like, wait a second. This is not that heavy. So I just picked up the whole it's big,
right?
But like, it's not that
it weighs
heavy.
A horse stall, man. Yeah.
I mean, it weighed 100 and it was maybe 100 and some pounds. So I just picked it up and it was kind of weighted to one side. So that worked in my favor. There was more stacked on one side. So I could
like
pick
closer
up
to
the heavier side.
Yep.
And then he was like, well, I guess that works. And then I just threw it in the back of the freestyle. And I'm like, yep, we're good.
I said, yeah, they don't let just anyone drive a Pueblo Gold freestyle.
Yeah. They knew what I was like. I know what I've got. And then it wasn't really easy to get someone to print. Well, I also had to hand wash every single one of these too once they were cut.
The process made them quite dirty.
Yes.
You sent me a video of you just scrubbing away on all these things.
Yes.
The rubber does, when they're cut, does leave a little debris.
Yeah, and then we got them printed on, and we had to test the printing for a while because we were actually ourselves skeptical about durability of the print, but it's been very good. I've actually did quite a bit of testing on this beforehand, and quite durable. The printing came out pretty nice, and it's actually a pretty cool product. We sold out of it really super fast. We are reordering more. It'll take probably a few weeks at least until we've got them on the store again. You can sign up for back in stock emails. We're probably going to let, it'll be the people that sign up for back in stock emails and the supporting members that find out about this first when we restock them. Mm-hmm. And I think it's probably going to could be a mad rush again. We'll see. There's a lot of people that missed out the first round. So hopefully the second time takes care of, they get in on it.
Yeah. And it'd be pretty cool if the next one takes 30 minutes to sell out.
Yeah. These are really nice, though. Right now is my first time of ever using one.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, it is just such a substantial
you
coaster.
Do. You throw it down, and it's just solid. And, it's the way a coaster should be. Now, I'm going to be really curious now if these do the thing. What's it, the blooming that rubber does, where eventually the stuff inside of them, the white, whatever, raises to the top. Yeah. Does that ever happen? Maybe, or is it the fact that it's in just a perfectly climate controlled environment?
That's what I was going to say. With the climate control environment, it's I wonder if that might not happen.
Because that's what I realized also, with my
I think they mostly off gassed because they don't smell.
Yeah, once your nose is right on them, you can smell it. But to be honest, it's almost disappointing how there's not more of a smell there.
Right. We're gonna have to get some artificial scent of it just to like pipe into these to just get to
spray into the air
more of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm right at the gym, right at home.
Yep. It also came with the sticker.
Yes.
That matches the coaster and the Matthew Horstel fact card, which you only get by ordering a coaster set also. Mm-hmm. And kind of the history of how Horstal mats came to be.
How it all went down.
Yeah. Okay. That's the coasters pretty much then, right? In a nutshell?
I think so.
Okay. What do you got? What do you want to do next?
Oh, what do we got on the list here?
Maybe we should do this new segment that we talked about.
Oh, yeah. I think so. Do we have something prepped this week?
Not really, but I could do it quick.
Okay. I'll fire away at random.
Okay. Do you have any preference or just random?
Let's pick, it's snowy there. Maybe we should pick something warmer like in the Southwest or Florida, one of those two spots. How's that
Okay,
sound?
let's go to Florida, actually. That's
Okay.
what I was thinking too. So everyone's like, what the heck are these guys talking about? Picking a thing. What are we getting at? So what's the name of this new segment?
This
that we're
would
gonna do?
be
It might be a weekly segment here. Never
we gotta,
before heard on the
we got to
Massenomics
think of
podcast.
we got to think of the formal name, but this is our weekly featured certified training facility.
Yeah, so it's certified training facility of the week, kind of, and we're gonna pick them at random each week and just give a little shout out to one of our certified training facilities. We're just gonna pull up our map, pick one randomly. It's not in geographic order. It's not in order of joining up. It's not anything. The only requirement is you've got a pictures that you've sent me to add to the map because we want something to be able to talk about. So if you haven't sent us pictures, if you're already certified and you haven't sent us any pictures of your training facility, make sure to do that.
And if
At
you're
least one
listening
picture.
live, or if you're listening at all anywhere, and you want to follow along, you can go to massenomics.com/certified and see exactly what we're talking about by checking out that map.
Yeah. And we won't be able to tell. It won't be like a full gym tour. We're usually going to be operating off of like one picture here. So, Big Nate asked if short video clips count. They don't because I can't add those. I can add YouTube videos if it's published onto YouTube. Otherwise, it needs to be images, and I can add a few. At first, I was telling people it's only one image, but I actually can add several. So if you
hacked the
send me
system.
multiple, I'll add those. Okay. So let's go the furthest south gym in Florida.
I like that.
It's Bayou Barbell
I'm seeing it here.
in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Bayou, Bayou, Barbell in Fort Lauderdale is our certified training facility of the week, our first ever in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Crew visitors are welcome. So if you're in the area,
Big
they
bonus
are
right there.
Yep, he is accepting visitors. And what do you see in his picture there?
You know what?
Tommy?
Okay, so I see a Rogue Monster Light Rack. It's a 4-post, and it looks like it's the 30-inch depth one. But he has, a couple things here, little under-the-radar things that I think are nice pieces. So first thing I'm seeing with the rack is it's a gray color. And to be honest, I think gray is a color that not very many people utilize, when it comes to racks.
Is that Battleship gray?
Is that what they call it? I would not surprise me one bit. But if you told, that makes sense to me if that's what it is. But yeah, I would say gray is an underrated color with racks for sure. And up top, it looks like he has the surplus strength. What's it? The UPS, the Universal Pulley System up there. Do you see that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which is a very
It's a garage gym. Did we say
garage.
that?
Yes. A garage gym. Very versatile piece of equipment to have that up there. I'm seeing some good use of wall control on the wall as well. He has some black wall control panels. I like that. Looks like
I'm getting the feeling that Bayou Barbell, he is a New Orleans or he's a Louisiana transplant.
It sure
He's
seems
got,
that way. He's got the
Saints, LSU.
Yeah, LSU flags, Saint flags. Yeah.
He's got. Did you say the wall control?
Yeah, I got the wall control. There is
with a lot of good attachments and stuff. It's well organized on the wall control.
Yeah. Do you see that 5/8-inch drink spotter down on the bottom, way down there? You have to zoom in on your.
Oh yeah.
I hit zoom in on my browser so I could see it extra big, but he's got
what
that.
adjustable bench is that he's got? Is that the rep? Look at the handle on that.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be the Rogue one too. I don't know what the Rogue one looks like well enough to say for sure.
It's a nice adjustable bench though.
It
that
is
he's got for sure.
Yeah, the handle looks a little different than my rep one, which makes me think maybe it's not. And then I think he's got a rower back there too from something Concept 2.
Yeah, and then Keith spotted it also. He's got a Keith head sticker on his.
Oh yeah, right on the Rogues. Yeah. Very nice touch. Yeah, and then I think we got some Rogue bumpers. So yeah, overall, pretty small footprint, but I think it's a good use of space. I like the.
What's
setup.
under the rack?
Oh, that's for sure horse stall mats, isn't it? Well, but wait a minute.
Does it have like a little more color to it than that or something?
Well, I thought maybe it built a platform here, but it looks like, he must have built a platform because it looks like the rack is bolted to.
Okay. Yeah, there's an actual platform with horse stall mats over the top of it.
Yep. Yeah. Overall, though,
the rack setup is not too dissimilar from mine. You know, he's got the narrower depth. I think the same height. What is it, like a 80 or a 90? I can't even remember what the height mine is, but
overall a legit gym though. I would say a legit home gym. Could you get strong there? Would you say?
Oh,
Tommy?
hell yeah.
I think I could definitely get strong there.
Yep.
Stay strong for that matter.
For sure. That's a good first pick for the for the inaugural, or what do you call the first ever?
I think so. That's what you call it, right?
Okay, the inaugural weekly featured certified training facility. Great
So
first
I
stop.
got to write that down so that we know we did that one. So there we go. Bio barbell. We'll see. I can't wait to see who we pick next week.
oh man,
be
So
great.
you could also get in on certified training facility of the week by becoming a certified training facility. Also, then by sending us DM us pictures of your facility so we can add it to the map.
And if you want in on it, Massenomics.com/certified. There's a link, or you can go in the shop, find the certified training facility package.
Yep. Okay. What's next this week?
Oh, where'd my list go? Where'd my list? We got.
Talk about.
Oh,
We could talk about the. Do we talk about the powerlifting news?
I think so.
or-
I think so. This
Okay.
is noteworthy. This is. I don't remember what way we said it. This is an item on our years. You know, the little game we play with our predictions
annual
for
game.
2025. I do not remember what either of us picked on this one, but I believe one of the items was the biggest total of all time will be broken in 2025. And no doubt one of us picked one and one of us picked the other.
Yeah, and it was broken, right?
Yeah,
It was shattered. It's been the record's been shattered. It was Big Colton. What's Colton's last name? He's a South African, right?
Yeah, Engelbrecht.
Yeah, Big Colton Engelbrecht, South African. He totaled 1,200 pounds, which comes out to like about 2,650, I think, right?
Yeah,
Which he
yeah,
beat
right in there.
Dan's total by almost, I don't know, 40 some
Was Dan
pounds.
2606? Was that?
Yeah, I think 2606. So he beat it by almost 50 pounds. It was in wraps. Keith asked if it was in sleeves. It was in wraps. He squatted over 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
He benched about 575, and he deadlifted, 1,036, whatever it comes out to. And what I would also add is the deadlift was not an RPE 10.
No.
On his final deadlift, he went for 500 kilos and
Well, so
almost got it.
And that is the thing, is because I forget what the rules are. Is it world records or whatever? They let you give a fourth attempt in some feds. So he took a fourth attempt deadlift at 500 kilos and was within inches of locking it out, right? I mean, it was right there.
And it moved very well.
Even that is absolutely shocking how fast it did move. If you go back and watch it, it doesn't make sense actually how good he is at all of
His
this.
final bench actually moved quite well also.
Mhm.
Like it seemed like he had more in the tank on bench.
Well, just watch all
too.
of his best attempts. It was just, it looked easy. Like it looked, if
Yeah.
no one had ever seen this before, they're like, seen powerlifting before, they'd be like, well, yeah, that guy's strong, but that's easy. It's not a big deal. You wouldn't realize it was just did the best performance of all time.
he weighed in at like 260 or 265 pounds.
Yeah, that's the craziest part of the whole
crazy.
thing, probably. Well, I don't even know if I can say the craziest part because there's so many crazy parts about it. The fifth attempt,
Right.
500 kilo deadlift, that's absolutely insane. The body weight is absolutely insane. The fact that it is pretty much the total package, it's insane.
The squat is honestly probably the craziest lift out of them because there are people of that build that can deadlift 1,000 pounds.
Right,
Jamal Brown,
yeah.
or, there are other people that can do that. I don't know there's nobody of that build that can squat 1,050 pounds. Like that. There isn't anyone that can do that. There isn't anyone even close to that build that does that.
That actually is a good point. I never really thought about that. Yeah, like if you said describe 1,000-pound squatter, it's always, they're absolutely enormous around the midsection because how else do you support
Right.
all of that weight? You do have a good point. Yeah, deadlifter, it's like, oh, who can pull over 900? I don't know, like anyone with long arms, it seems like nowadays.
I'm not saying that Colton would look at all like the average guy that walks into a gym. He would still stick out, obviously.
Right. Oh, he's
very
still
muscular,
huge,
but he weighs 260 pounds. You know, that you see people of that height and weight all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when Dan Bell or Jesus walks by, you're like, okay, that person's enormous.
Right, they are.
Like they weigh 400 pounds.
Uh-huh.
You know, I can see.
Like if I ran into them, I would
just.
just bounce off of them and they wouldn't move.
Right. Right. Where Colton weighs 260 pounds. Yeah, Ray Williams is another example. You know, the guy you expect.
That Jezza
or it makes more
Uepa,
sense.
who was also like squatting like 1,000 pounds like 10 years ago in the USAPL.
Right.
Or just, yeah. 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 It's pretty wild. The other thing that's really interesting about it is how he just destroyed the record. And I don't know what his dots ended up being, but his dots is still, I think,
all-time record, world record dots too.
for men though. Like it's still considerably behind several women, I believe.
Is it?
Which
I think
is,
you said it was like 669 or something.
yeah,
like
and the highest dot score for a lady is 711.
Okay.
So it's still like, so actually even 669 would put him, as far as dots go, in like 10th place behind 9 women.
Yeah, that tells me something is.
Yeah,
you know, it's
again, like the
probably not
coefficients
apples to
don't. The coefficients don't really matter, but it is just funny that is how. Like we're talking about something that people weren't even sure if it was possible, let alone at this body weight possible, and it's just such an outlier from something that's ever been done before. But as far as the dots formula goes, the math doesn't quite math on it.
That math ain't math, and it's also very likely then that it seems very feasible that he could total over 2,700 pounds now. I mean, if he would have got that deadlift, I guess he would have. Right?
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah. Because what was it? Was it a jump of like another 40 or 50 pounds?
Something like that. Yeah. So it would have been like a 2,700 pound total, I believe.
And like you were saying,
so he's like beating the record by 100 pounds almost at that point.
Yeah. Because what was it when it went from, when Dan took it, it was from Milanichev, right?
Yeah. I think it was like 25.50 or something like that.
Okay. So Dan broke it by like 50 or 60 pounds.
I can't remember exactly even. I might be wrong. People would call me out, so I would hate to say, but it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
It does also make you wonder then there just always is somebody else, like for as wild as this is. So how many years until there's just another guy that's like, oh,
right. Because Dan had the record for what? 2 years,
4 years,
4 years.
Yeah. 4 years.
But it wasn't like a decade, like that record.
No.
It's not like these Ed Cohn records that stood for decades on end or something. Is that time just done? Is it just always, well, no matter how incredible something seems, just wait 3 years, someone else will come along.
Do you think in our lifetime someone would total 3,000 pounds raw then?
It really doesn't seem possible, but
I don't think it is.
I don't know, but
that math doesn't math. I don't know how you could get there.
But even, it doesn't because now you have to
You have to squat and deadlift 1,200 each is 24 and then bench 6. I don't like that.
But Colton could bench 6 and then it's like,
and he could, I mean, he kind of can deadlift 1,100 pounds already. Could he add 100 more to that?
That's
and then still add 150 pounds to his already squat that already makes no sense.
Like as of right now, 2,800 doesn't seem impossible.
Right.
I don't think that many years ago I would have said, well, 2,800 probably is impossible, and now it's like that seems in striking distance. 3,000 does. But what's to say that someone comes along that has Colton's level of strength, but actually just does naturally fill out, a 380 pound frame?
Well, what I was going to say though, that is also exactly what I was going to say. But the problem with that though, typically that person sacrifices deadlift ability to do that though. In powerlifting,
being shorter,
there's not a lot of 400 pounders that actually do. Make the deadlift, are able to do on deadlift.
We're not counting strongman here. We're not talking strongman. Strongman's a different set of rules and you can play that.
But in powerlifting, if just take Colton himself, for example, if he goes up to 325 pounds, his squat's going to go up, his bench is going to go up. is his deadlift going to go up or is it going to go down? Like, does he have a problem with leverages and grip and stuff like that? Then I don't know.
Yeah. It wouldn't be crazy to think that he could probably go up a little weight and still squeak some out there.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, going up to like 320 pounds all of a sudden, that could be more of a challenge.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to wait and see how the math continues to math on this, I think.
That's pretty exciting, though. Definitely one of the more exciting things that happened in powerlifting in the last couple of years.
So I think him and John Hack are going to go at it at some point in time, right? Are they both scheduled for a meet here that they battle it out with for best coefficient score head-to-head?
I don't know. Are they? Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think that's a thing that's coming. And I guess at this point, Colton has the advantage. You know, he has broken the dots record, but I'd be cheering for John Hack myself.
Right.
I'm
Team America.
We
here,
used to be a proper
absolutely.
country kind of guy, so I'll be cheering for Johnny Boy, our friend from Wisconsin, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But big totals getting broken all over the place.
I like it.
What do you think about supporting our supporting members?
Let's do it.
Okay, this is a relatively new segment to the Massenomics podcast. It's where we give back to those that support us. We do actually have a few, not that many, but a few supporting member spots left. If you wanted to get in on the action, you can go to massenomics.com/join. That's where you sign up. But there is not that many spots left, so I guess I wouldn't wait very long. Some way you can get in on this segment. There's a discount code. It's how you get on our Discord. It's the only way you can listen to the pre-show. We let you know early about drops. You usually get early access to drops. All kinds of cool stuff. This week, we want to shout out Big Hunter. He set a family PR with one, or he's going to set a family PR with one on the way for September. Big Alex competed at Untamed Strength Strongest Novice competition. Big George Green did a powerlifting meet. He went 7 for 9. He had a squat PR and a 60-pound total improvement.
Nice.
Big Keith competed in a powerlifting meet. He hit an all-time PR total of 1163 with a 424-pound squat PR.
Okay, I got a question. We'll talk more on that in a second here. I'll let you finish out the segment.
Okay.
I got questions on that. I was doing some thinking on
it. Big Nate's buddy Tom got second into jiu-jitsu competition.
Very good, Nate's buddy Tom.
Big Spoon did a bench-only meet and hit a 292 bench for a meet PR. Big Spoon and Big Steen, both crew members, also celebrated an anniversary.
Hell yeah.
Big Jeff got his wisdom teeth out. Big Steve hit a family PR, big Canadian Steve family PR with a grandson.
Woo!
Old Ball Steve.
Oh.
Grandpa Steve.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a spry grandpa.
He is. I had no idea.
Big Tyler is starting an apparel brand called Olympus Lifting. It's retro style lifting shirts. So check out Olympus Lifting for Big Tyler, crew member.
Very
Go
nice.
give him some support. And then Big Lauren was this week's guest on Unpaid and Underrated. Don't miss it.
Okay. What federation was Keith's meet that he did?
Keith's listening live. He will have to tell us what that is.
USAPL.
I feel like I'm a little USAPL.
I'm just finding a little suspicious that Keith goes on a little strongman training streak, leaves strongman, shows up, starts setting PRs his first meet back from powerlifting.
It does all seem a little fishy, doesn't it?
Uh-huh. I'm just would like to know if that meat was drug tested or not.
A little too convenient.
Yeah. Strongman is borderline dark side over there.
He must have been taking the orange juice, Jake says.
Yes.
The orange juice.
With heavy air quotes on that orange.
Yeah.
It got tested in the meat last year, so he knows he wasn't going to get tested again this year. Wow.
Yep. So he's like, yep, bring on the orange juice.
Going according to plan.
100% pulp full orange juice. Okay. I do have a sack segment here also too. Do we want to do that?
Oh.
Actually, I don't know if this is supposed to be a surprise or not. Maybe I'll just let other people's surprises out of the bag. Do you want to see what's in the sack segment?
Yeah. Well,
I got
a
something
surprise
for you.
for us or a surprise for someone else. It's our
No,
sack.
it's a surprise for us. Kind of a funny surprise, as a matter of fact. Kind of the timing is quite humorous. Boys, just a little preview of the new Brad the Pad branded items for the Lift Hard Live Easy 3. Please enjoy your new beverage, crash pads, and keychains. Looking forward to my first official meet and putting on that sweet Hall of Fame jacket in July. Stay silly, Brad the Pad, Hall of Fame class 2024.
I like we need to start writing that on the website, what class they were in.
Yes. So did you hear his description of
Yes,
the items?
that's
What
why
he
I
said?
really want to know what I'm going to see
A beverage crash pad?
Yeah, he got my attention. Nice.
It's a Brad the Pad, strong, silly, safe
Yeah,
coaster.
that's good. I do just love the strong, silly, safe. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's really good.
I like
And then
that.
he sent us some keychains also. Brad the Pad plate keychains I've got in the bag. I think it'll still come across there a little bit. Brad the Pad on a weight plate keychain.
That's awesome.
So I'm excited for the coaster also. And then you got one here too that I'll have to get to you.
That's really good.
All of a sudden we're in an abundance of coasters.
Hey, you can never have enough coasters.
Yeah, that's true. This week's episode, speaking of things you can never have enough of, the Strength Co plates. Tommy uses them right in his home gym. I use them at Massenomics gym. I use them this week. I've been deadlifting with them. I've been squatting with them. They're the go-to plates of Massenomics gym, and they're the go-to plates of garage gyms. You're going to go in a garage gym. I want you to find two things. One, a nice sturdy horse stall mat to deadlift on, to lift on, to squat on, to have under your rack. And number two would be Strength Co plates to lift with. They're made in the USA. They're veteran-founded, veteran-owned company. Our friend Big Grant runs it. You can check out their plates and everything else they've got at thestrength.co. Check out their plates. They actually sell like smaller horse stall mat sizes there too. You can get extra horse stall mats while you're there. You can get their barbell collars, bumper plates if you're doing cleans and jerks and Olympic stuff, or you need to, maybe you ran out of horse stall mats and you need to deadlift without them. You can get some bumper plates. Check it all out at thestrength.co.
Oh, I'm just so jacked on these coasters that I finished that beverage and I'm opening another beverage just so I can keep using the coaster.
What's that thing on the couch behind you there?
Oh, yeah. Okay, hold still. Hold on.
Yeah.
Tanner, do not go anywhere, okay?
Yeah.
Stay.
Is that Bernie?
Stay.
Again? Tommy's got something on his couch back there that's just been screaming my name. I think it's a nice throw pillow with the Massenomics logo on it.
All right, I'm back. So
Okay.
I got this couch that everyone just loves behind me. And I thought, what way can I dress up this couch? And it hit me. Massenomics throw pillow. Is that pretty sweet or what?
That is sweet. Is that leather?
No, it's just kind of like it's just like a material. It just has a little bit of a shine to it.
Yeah.
I prefer more of a matte look. But hey, when you're buying online, you take what you get, you know?
Did you stuff that yourself?
No, it's just you buy the pillow and you put the pillowcase over it.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sweet,
Sweet.
huh?
That is pretty sweet.
I did not realize when I bought it, I just go online and type in custom throw pillow. And I'm like, yeah, I never heard of this website, whatever. And buy it. The checkout process was a little weird. And then after I complete the order, I realized I ordered from someplace in India, which doesn't seem like the most convenient place to order it from, but it showed up in a week somehow. So I got to imagine the good chunk of the purchase price went towards the shipping fees on that thing.
Oh, don't even get me started on tariffs. Because I don't know what I'm talking about.
Them
so don't
Indian
get me started.
tariffs on pillowcases. Yeah, so I don't know. I only bought one, but now I'm like, oh, maybe I need one for this side of the couch. The couch isn't balanced out, so
Yeah, it does look sweet. We'll have to see when those are for sale on the Massenomics website now. Massenomics throw
that's
pillow.
one of the little benefits of having these design files. You can make all this little one-off things without telling anyone.
Have you tried taking a nap with it yet? Like, does it pass the nap
No, I'm
test?
kind of afraid to just like even wreck it. It's just too nice. It's just like a museum.
It's more of a
piece over there.
display piece. Yeah, it's more of not some like someone comes over and they grab it or put their head on it. You're like, stay off the pillow.
Bernie likes to look at it. He doesn't get too close to it, but he likes the vibe of it too.
Yeah, I like it. Do we need to kick off of our live listeners soon, do you think?
Maybe
they've
we
already got the
should.
pre-show and this, but tell them what our title topic is going to be before we kick them off.
Okay. Our title topic is going to be reflecting on 1 year of home gym ownership. What Tommy's learned in a year of a home gym.
Okay.
Just recently hit my 1 year anniversary, so we're gonna recap that.
So that'll be our title topic. While you're kicking them off, though, I want to update everyone on the Your Mom's March Madness bracket update.
Good. And
Your
can you
Mom's
tell people what
Massenomics only March Madness bracket this year? We had 69 active participants.
Because of course.
Obviously, there were 69. And I just want to tell you how many people are still in the running. It's fairly small. We're down to the final four in men's collegiate basketball. So just 4 teams left. It'll be decided this upcoming weekend. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people that have a shot at it still.
Just depending on what number 1 seed pulls it off.
Yeah, Big Andrew's in there. I'm just Big Jakey, Big Mofo, Big Ben, Big Jake the Snake, and Big Buck. Who is that? These people's screen names are hard for me to remember what everyone's is.
But how many of those people that are currently in the running have won a contest before? Are we going to get some fresh blood in the new contest?
I think that there's a high likelihood that there's fresh blood because there is a Massenomics Hall of Fame check mark at stake here.
Mm-hmm.
And Tommy, I guess I don't know where you're at in the list. Just where I'm in 20th place right now.
I think that bracket I did pretty bad on.
Okay.
Our family always does a bracket. My father-in-law is big into pushing that one. And last time I checked, like a few days ago, I was sitting in first. So,
but that wasn't out of 69 people.
No, that one was only out of like 7 people. But
yeah,
I'm at least winning one of them. I made sure to fill out all of them wildly different with the idea that one of these has to do okay.
Yeah. I did pretty well for quite a while, and then my bracket, just like everyone else, gets busted.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they call it March Madness.
That's how it should go. Actually, this year wasn't that crazy of a March Madness.
Actually, no. It's all number ones are all in the Final Four.
I think even the Sweet 16 was it the highest average seed number ever for the Sweet 16. It was something like that,
okay.
or the highest of the last 10 years. And then like buzzer beaters, there was like 1 so far, maybe 2. So even that was. It's been a little predictable. The script writers should have been a little more creative this year.
Well, maybe the real madness, though. We're so used to the madness. The real madness, it's deeper this year. The madness lies in how predictable it really was.
Just might be.
Where it's like no one predicted what, no
one predicted that it would play out the way it was supposed to.
It was a bit of an oxymoron this year, I guess.
That's what it seems like.
Yeah. That's our Your Mom March Madness bracket update. We'll touch on it again next week when we declare a winner. All right. So, Tom, you've had this home gym now for approximately exactly a year.
Yes.
And
approximately exactly.
It's over a year then, do we think?
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Feels like a lifetime.
Kind of. I bought the rack when we came back from the Arnold. That was where I got the rack, but I had some shit in my garage, so it took me a couple weeks to make the space, clear it out. But the first photo I could find of my squat rack set up in my garage was like March 5th, 27th, somewhere in there.
Okay.
So it's been like a year and a week at this point.
So we're just over a year right now.
Yep.
And first of all, do you like having a home gym?
So I will say this, like my baseline, I have a skewed baseline because my baseline is Massenomics Gym. Like that's not the baseline for most people. Is Massenomics Gym better? Yes. Is it a better training environment? Yes. Is the equipment better? Yes. Are the training partners better? Yes. But I don't live in Aberdeen anymore, so
right.
So
there are good gyms in Crew Falls, of course.
But
it's not also going to be. What would be the most reasonable drive to a good gym?
Probably the closest one would
it be like 30 minutes? or
Probably
not?
be Los Campeones, and yeah, depending on traffic, anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes, which is, I mean,
For some people, they probably just consider that normal, but
yeah, but I mean, try to have a family life and run two
Exactly.
businesses, and also take your training somewhat
And spend an
seriously and spend
hour
time
per day on commute.
Yeah, it's
just to go to the gym.
There's just not enough hours. Like there's literally not enough hours in the day. It's not an option. So
If you were a single dude, you wouldn't think.
oh
twice
yeah,
about it,
and that's
so
the
you'd
thing.
be
Like if I was a single dude, I probably wouldn't have a home gym. I would just, I mean,
Right.
what else do you got to do? I would drive to a gym. That wouldn't be a big deal at all. But I just could not be any busier. I literally could not be. So, that was what spurred the whole thing. Was I could see this last year that we'd moved into a house, had the space again, and I could see that my time was getting shorter and shorter and shorter every day, and the home gym seemed like an option. Picked up some the rack, some of the starter pieces at the Arnold, and I guess you could say I never looked back because jumped in pretty hard and fast in this past year. And if I were to look back on everything, there's a lot of things you could take away from it, but probably the biggest surprise to me of the whole thing, I would say the biggest surprise would be how much I liked it. But I know I like training. I know I like lifting, so that's not really a surprise. Right. I guess probably the biggest surprise to me would be how much I like the home gym part of it, like the home gym nerd stuff of it all, the getting familiar with people's product lines and equipment and the differences and what you can do with things. And I didn't think I would go down that rabbit hole as much as I have. And to be fair, I mean, there's people that are much deeper down that rabbit hole than me. But I thought, in the beginning that, oh no, like I just give me a squat rack and a barbell and some plates and a bench and I'm good. And that is all you need. Like, and no doubt that is enough, but quickly learned that, well, this is kind of my hobby. This is fun. If I'm spending money, let's make this even more fun, more enjoyable. And yeah, so things did progress farther than what I would have initially thought.
Could you ever see yourself now not having a home gym?
No, at this point,
to not having a
no,
home
at
gym?
this point now I've gone too far in. I just could not pick. I mean, if I moved again and I was like in a townhome, like that was what happened the first time. We moved to town. Right. We lived in a townhome when we first got here, where there's just not room for it. And I guess a situation like that I could see, but it would be knowing that it's temporary. I just couldn't see long term. Now,
long term, you would always have a home gym. Now,
it would just be so hard to not have that. I just could
maybe
not.
Just actually all the one long term. I mean, ideally, you would have one all the time.
At this point now, because I look back on this past year. So I've always just done a 3-day a week split. I've just always lifted 3 days a week, and there's a lot of weeks where I would have missed workouts if I didn't have a home gym. Like, no doubt, there just was not an option, because my wife works a weird schedule. So that also, and that's another factor for me, is my wife works a weird schedule. So there's typically 3 days a week where she's gone for like 14 straight hours, which means that it can be very challenging to get that workout in because I have kids and I need to be spending time with my kids, not in the gym and ignoring them. So, there's just been a lot of situations where having the home gym has enabled me to get workouts in that I would not have if I had to drive, pack up my stuff, go drive 10, 15 minutes to the next gym, get set up, workout, all that.
You just wouldn't have got to go to the gym at all.
I know. It just wouldn't have been an option. So that it has just been a total time saver, workout saver, hobby saver for me having this. And it's now at this point so hard to picture that not being a part of my life forever going forward.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is you posted the picture of when it first started and now. And at the time I don't remember thinking, that looks, I wasn't like, oh, that sucks. But now in comparison, I'm like, oh, the original one doesn't even look like I'd want to lift, because now it's like, no, that's a gym.
Yeah.
And part of it is just like the decorating too.
It is.
Where it's like just, but, and I know you've talked about it before, but it does also help when you own a company that like makes gym
flags and gym products. But like I'm looking here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
11. I got like 11 banners and flags on the wall, which, yeah, I mean, if I was buying those, you're probably talking anywhere between $300 and $500, depending on what company, whose these are and what size, which is not a small amount of money, but compared to what you can spend on a home gym, it's not that much in the scheme of things. And it really does transform the space to have
it really does
some
though,
decorations.
like that does not even look like the same spot. Like that doesn't look like it's the same area.
Yeah, it does. And I'm not, we'll do videos. Actually, we'll have, sometime in the next couple months,
tour.
There'll be an updated Massenomics gym tour like we do every year. And then I'll also do an updated home gym tour too. But one of the funny things is because I just was trying to keep this so tight and just such a compact gym from the beginning. And over time, I've gone down that slippery slope of like, well, a little more space. And, in its very first phase, it was just 2 horse stall mats and a rack.
No, it was literally just 2 horse stall mats. That was the gym.
There
was nothing on it. No, but there was not even anything.
Yeah.
It was just, you just moved 2 horse stall mats.
Gotta get a feel for this here. Just get 2 horse stall mats. But yeah, that was my initial run to Tractor Supply Co. was just 2 horse stall mats, and I had the rack on there.
Did you ratchet strap the?
No, I backed it up to my garage door, pulled them out, and set them down. Like, didn't need to add 10 minutes of work to move them 10 feet. But then I realized, well, a little more space should be nice because I kind of have these, the horse stall mats drop off on each side of it. So I'm like, well, I'll put another horse stall mat in the corner. And that was my third one. Like, I didn't have this all squared up. So then I had 3 horse stall mats. And then after a little while, I'm like, God. Actually, before I added the 4th, because I did add a 4th horse stall mat eventually. But before I got there, we've talked about on this podcast, there was a pivotal moment when I decided, you know what? I need a lat pull down machine. And my very first search ever on Marketplace for a lat pull down machine was the one that I got. Found it in Minneapolis. Made the 3.5 hour trip there. I drove 7 hours total to get this lat pull down machine. $300. Did a little restoration on it. And I love this thing. And once I got that, I needed another horse stall mat to even everything out. So now I'm up to 4 horse stall mats. And sorry, take that back. I'm up to 5 horse stall mats in there.
The number of horse stall mats just keeps growing.
It does. I'm up to 5. But yeah, I went from just a rack to a rack and a lat pull down machine to then a rack and a few more horse stall mats to have that dedicated, nice area for deadlifting. And then towards the end of the year, last year and very end of 2024, I added in the rep-ins. And that was a pretty sweet addition. And that was my last big addition to the gym.
So right now you're at 5 horse stall mats.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 119 square feet of gym.
That's all you need. Give a man 119 square feet of horse stall mats and he's happy.
So could you ever see wanting 24 more square foot of
I could.
Real estate?
I definitely could. The problem is right now what I really like about it is it's kind of its own little self-contained area. Like there's no reason for the kids' toys or bikes or anything to ever go on the horse stall mats. They could, but it is like enough of its area that there's not a reason for it to happen. Where if I add in one more row, it's getting into the garage space of everything. And then bikes and other stuff will start to actually be on the horse stall mats. And part of me feels like there's this mental barrier of like, well, if we're putting stuff on these horse stall mats, what's the difference between these ones and the ones closer to the rack? And then I get worried that stuff's just going to start spreading everywhere. So that's the resistance that I'm fighting right now.
Yeah.
But that's also from a man who had 2 horse stall mats at this time last year.
That's true.
Now he has 5.
In a year from now, at that rate, you could have 8 horse stall mats.
They just keep multiplying.
We also now have horse stall mat coasters.
Right.
Too, so.
I guess, I've gotten pretty hard into the horse stall mat game, you could say here. I've become a real aficionado of
another
this.
half a square foot here, too, per one of these. Well, I would like the idea that someone was going to, like, how many of these would I need to cover my entire, like, to reverse engineer horse stall mats that, like.
It's just tiles.
Yeah.
I do like that. Yeah, that was really good. I'm just trying to think if there's been any surprises for me along the way or things that I didn't expect. But, I've been training a long time. I've been lifting a long time. I kind of know the style of lifting I do. So there really wasn't any major surprises as far as that goes.
Right.
In this part of the country, I would say if you get some climate control, it's going to make your life a lot nicer. Even now,
you did have to do that, right?
Yep, I put in just an electric heater, and if your space is well insulated, I will say all day a natural gas option would be the superior option. But if your space is well insulated, do not be afraid of your electric bill with an electric heater, assuming you're only running it for a few hours at a time. Like me, I mean, I saw, I don't know, depending on the month, anywhere between like $20 and $40 extra on my electric bill. So that was totally worth it. And yeah, I mean, probably the biggest surprise was honestly just how much I actually ended up enjoying the home gym thing. Really didn't think that it would be. Really thought it's like, no, I'm lifting and that's it. And it did. I got into the hobby more than I would have guessed.
Yeah. Keith had a question. Do you enjoy giving gym tours to random people that come over to your house? Like it could be, I guess, other lifters or just like a neighbor or a fan, someone that doesn't necessarily lift even. Do you give them a gym tour?
I've done this a couple times, not to many people. And I'll say this, what I've quickly realized is that if you're not really a gym person,
right,
it doesn't mean anything to you.
Those people not care at all?
I wouldn't say they don't care at all, but you can tell it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Like if you're not into cars and I'm showing you if I bought a
I might be like, oh, that's probably a cool car, but I don't really
You're like,
care.
oh, that's cool. And you're like, yeah, but the engine does this. And you're like, I don't know what horsepower means or liters are. It's like,
right.
And it's the same thing. Like I've quickly realized like telling people like they don't share, not that they're not excited or happy for you, but they just don't even know the language you're speaking. So it doesn't mean anything. It's more like, hey, that banner's kind of cool. And it's like, well, that's not really the gym, but yeah, thank you. It is cool, I guess. So yeah, after giving a few tours, I have realized that no one will like this as much as me and a select few that are very deep into this. So yeah, I'm happy to give them, but I just know that I'm not going to get a ton of reaction out of people.
Yeah, but you have had people there training. Perfect Little Sweetie has been there training with you.
Ryan,
your brother must use it to train when he's in.
Yeah, I mean, my brother's been down here every week for work, so he's usually lifting 2 days a week down here, and I think he gets one back at Aberdeen on the weekend then.
And then you also hosted a lifting party in your home gym.
I did, lifting party, and that's something I would love to do more of, some more lifting parties as time goes on. Not just having to be a huge Crew Falls thing, because after going to Bryce's a few times, doing Juji's thing, it would be fun to have a few more people just show up on random occasions and lift. Yeah. But again,
like if it was the weekend certified training facility, Crew Falls rotation,
Yeah, that's it'd be a ton of fun. But that is part of my problem is that now it's like, oh, we have like little kids soccer starting, and there's just another, like weekends get so busy. It's
with everything going on.
It is though, for real. Like that's part of the reason I have a home gym is because I'm so insanely busy. But as time goes on, that is something I would like to try to do more of because it is fun. It's always fun to lift with people, and getting them in a home gym is a good setting for it.
Well, and then the other thing, you talked about becoming more of a home gym nerd and getting the equipment, and you talked about a lot of new equipment and some used equipment that you got. And what goes along with the used equipment then is you've probably gotten to use Facebook Marketplace way more than, at least for gym equipment, way more than you ever have before in this last 12 months.
I think I may have said this on the podcast. I'm not sure I had ever actually used Marketplace in my life before I had a home gym. That section of Facebook didn't even exist to me. Never clicked on it. I'm not
really
looking
the
for
only
any
section of Facebook that interests me.
I know, now it's the only section of value, but I maybe clicked on the button once or twice, and if you never click on it, Facebook doesn't know what the hell to show you. So it's like, what is this rummage sale of shit? Like there's nothing here for me, and so I for sure had never intentionally like sought something out with the point of buying something. So, yeah, I definitely have like just blown up by an exponential number the amount of time I spent on Marketplace in the last year. And I have a lot of Marketplace thoughts. I have a lot here. As a buyer, Marketplace can be pretty freaking cool. Like there can be deals to be had. This lat pull down machine, I think, is an incredible lat pull down machine, and I got it for $300. Finding a selectorized lat pull down machine new for less than like $2,500, it's pretty freaking hard to do. I mean, even finding one for less than $3,000 isn't necessarily super easy to do. So something like that is sweet. Like that is awesome. And I'm trying to think. Oh, I bought those Gungnir handles too. I think those are the only two things I actually bought off of Marketplace in the last year was just the pull down and those. But
you probably browsed at a lot of things.
Oh, I have browsed a lot of things, because that's also, I think I talked about this. It's like fishing. It's like, just like going to cast my line out and see what's out there today. Like that's what it feels like. Like what's the big one? Like, you can't catch the big one if you don't go looking. That's what it feels
exactly
like.
Right, because you never know when it's going to pop up, and when it pops up,
you
got to be ready. There's a whole bunch of other fishermen out there. You got to compete with the. Bryce and Paul don't miss a deal on Facebook Marketplace.
No, they don't. And then also with some of these guys at USD and everything, they're always chiming in on what they're seeing. So it feels like even if I'm not paying attention, that someone else is, and they're saying, "Oh, you got to get this, you got to get this, you got to do this." So I'm just so much more in tune. But I have another piece of feedback as a seller on Marketplace. I say, "Fuck Marketplace! God, it's so annoying. People are the worst." And I will caveat that saying, there's a couple people that were great. I recently I put on Marketplace some of those old weight plates I had, not strength co plates, but just some old ones that I had. I put on a deadlift jack because I had multiple deadlift jacks. Don't need multiple deadlift jacks. I put on an adjustable dumbbell handle, just some random things like that. All little things, pretty much everything. Unless you're buying all of the weight plates, no item was more than $70. I mean, everything was cheap. And this was my first time ever selling something on Marketplace. And I've actually, take that back. I've sold a boat. I've owned a boat. I sold a boat on Marketplace. I've sold things in my life. I've sold a boat. Actually, my house in Aberdeen, we sold and listed our own house. And that was an expensive piece. That was I mean, as far as things you could sell on Marketplace goes, I mean, it wasn't listed on Marketplace, but we put it on Facebook. Word got out. We sold it ourselves. So I've sold things. I've dealt with people selling things. And I think my lesson I've learned is if you're selling something for less than $100, it's just not worth my time. It's a waste of time because it's too much interaction for what the payoff is here, like way too much. And I will say this, the first two people I dealt with were lovely. They were great. The first item was a deadlift jack. Guy messages me right away. He goes, "Hey, I want this deadlift jack. I'm out of town for the week. I will Venmo you the money right now to hold it for me. I will be back in town on Friday and I can pick it up." And I'm like, "Dude, you seem pretty legit. You seem pretty serious. I'm not even worried about it. Just you can pay me when you get here." He's like, "Oh, thank you so much." Friday comes around. He follows up right away. He comes, and this is a funny story. I did tell you this, Tanner, but I think everyone should hear it. He shows up and he's like, "Oh, yeah. It was actually the Strength Co deadlift jack because I had the Clevo one too." And he's like, "Yeah, I got the Strength Co plate. So I saw the deadlift jack and I just knew I had to have it." I'm like, "Oh, damn, that's really cool. You got Strength Co plates? Like, do you know the owner?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've actually talked to Grant on the phone like one time or messaged him. I can't remember what it was." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, Grant's a good buddy. I've talked to him a bunch." He's like, "Oh yeah, it's really cool, really cool." And it was during the work. I was really busy and everything. And I'm like, "All right, well, thanks, man. We'll see ya." And it was like 5 minutes later, the guy messages me and he's like, "Hey, just wanted to say I really love what you do with Massenomics and I love your guys' gym tours and all the home gym stuff." And I'm like, "Dude, you should have told me." Because my default is always people don't know what Massenomics is. That's like a safe default to work in. And so, and then he just had some really nice things to say. And I'm like, "Dude, if you would have told me, I would have talked shop with you for a half hour if you wanted." But so he had nice things to say. Another one, I sold my Kensui dumbbell handles with the standard weights and put those on. I'm like, I don't know if someone will buy these. I thought a pretty aggressive price. I listed them at like 50% of what I bought all of them for, which I think is a pretty good deal. I mean, all in, we're talking like $70. Guy pops up, he offers $60. sure, whatever. I'm like $10, whatever. I don't care. You seem motivated and ready to show up, take them. The guy did. He's like, oh, when he came and got him, he's like, oh, this is an awesome gym. And we talked for a minute, and he was a nice guy. They're in a good home. So I feel good about that one too. And then I had the weight plates, and I'm like, well, this should be the easiest one to move out of all of them. So I put the weight plates on, and within like 5 minutes, I had probably 4 different people ask me about the weight plates. I'm like, oh God. Like I've never had to deal with this before. Of like so many people like, oh, what is this? What is this? Like, and people interested and wanting to buy it. And what I quickly learned is people just kind of want to start a conversation, even if they're not really ready to buy. And like I didn't, because when the only time I've ever started a conversation with anyone on Marketplace is when
like,
I have
you want to buy it.
I have every intention of buying that, unless you're going to surprise me with something, or I have a very serious question related to what is going on here. And I'm just trying to pull up my messages here. So related to these weight plates, if I go into Marketplace, I have all the other ones took like 1 or 2 conversations. The weight plates, oh, I took it off, so it's gone. I had like 12 different conversations going about, and actually when I say the weight plates, I mean 2 35s. That's all I'm trying to do is sell a pair of 35s. I had like 12 to 15 different conversations going with people of, oh yeah, I want these. I'm like, okay, tell me when you want to come. Nothing. Never got an answer back. Kind of weird. Okay. Then the next guy, hey, can I buy these? I'm like, yeah, sweet. Just let me know when you want to come. Okay. I don't live in Sioux Falls. I'm not sure if I'll be there this weekend. I'll let you know. I'm like, okay, well, someone else comes up. They're going to cut ahead of you in line. And then like a couple hours later, I guess I'm not coming to Sioux Falls. Forget about it. Okay, whatever. Then you get people like coming in, like offering lowball offers. And I'm already selling these plates for like 60 cents a pound, which is cheap. Like that's cheap.
Yes.
And then it's like, you're making like lowball offers. I'm kind of not going to entertain and waste my time with those ones. Like I'm just like, nope.
Sometimes even just out of principle, it's like, no, I'll just keep
I'm
it.
already
Or,
offering
like,
a hot deal here. I'm not even gonna mess with it. I have all these other people that want to get them. And so then after a certain point, and then a guy actually comes to get them. Actually the first day, a guy was like, yeah, I'll be there after work today. I'm like, perfect. These sold in no time. This was easy. And then he shows up, and I don't fault him too much, but he thought that they were standard weight plates because they said standard on the plate. He thought they were 1-inch holes. And I'm like, kind of every cheap plate says standard on it.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, I have a 1-inch bar.
Did you tell him to get a better bar?
Yeah. I just like,
what bar does he have that he only has a 1-inch bar?
Once I heard that, I'm like, I don't even need that. I'm not knocking anything here, but like we're not even on the same page, man. Yeah. So that one was like, I'm like, really? I thought these were done. And then I keep getting these people of like, yep, I'll come buy these. And then once it comes time to like, okay, tell me when, just nothing. That happened like 7 times. I'm like, how does this keep happening? So finally I wake up on Sunday and I'm like, I am so sick of these little conversations back and forth. So finally I go back to the guy that made me the offer. Instead of the 2 plates for like $50, he wanted them for like $40. And I'm like, it's annoying. It's the principle of it. It's $10 again. Yeah. It's the principle of it though. It's so annoying that 40. Okay, whatever. So I message him. I say, it was at like 10 in the morning. I go, hey, I'll take that offer. That sounds good. Let me know when you want to get them. So I send that message. Probably 5 minutes after I send that, the one guy, hey, my brother's just going to that I talked to earlier that was not in town. Hey, my brother's in town. He's just going to come by and get those right now. I'm like, I go, okay, sounds good. So then like 2 hours later, this other guy gets back to me and he goes, all right, can I come at 2:00? I'm like, hey, sorry, someone actually came and got them. All right, I said, someone's actually on the way to get them right now. And he's like, he goes, haha, nice one. Take me off the list. Because I go, someone's on the way to get them, but if they don't show up, you're next on the list. And he goes, haha, nice one. Take me off the list. And it just pissed me off so bad because I'm like, okay, you're getting the entitled attitude. I get it. Yeah. I get it. You made an offer that I didn't like, and I took 3 days to reply. And then when I did, 2 hours later, I told you couldn't have them. But do not give me the attitude because these were not your plates. And it pissed me off for so long that day and it shouldn't have. It's so dumb, and I'm laughing about it now. But in the moment, I'm like, this guy's really giving me attitude about this. Like, really, this is the thing. This is so stupid. You're not, until someone actually shows up with these, you're not entitled to anything. Like, that's just the way Marketplace works. There's a lot of things going on. And after that, I'm like, screw Marketplace. I'm not putting anything on here that's less than like a few $100s ever again, was what my thought process was.
Yeah, pretty much no holding it for anyone because it just doesn't.
Well, that's what I was getting to the point. I was just like, someone show up. Just someone show up here. And
yeah.
Unfortunately for that
So
guy,
you did
someone
sell
finally
him,
showed up. So yeah, finally this guy shows up. He's like, "Oh, sweet gym man, this is oh god, you got to save so much time having a gym like this." I'm like, "Yes, I do." And so
do you have anything left for sale, or is it all gone?
No, because Jenna Lee, the only things I had left with were some plates, but I have those set aside for Jenna Lee, big Jenna Lee. She's picking those up, and
Certified
then
training facility.
Technically, I had those Gungnir handles, but they take up like no room, so I'm not really worried about if those don't go. And then I do have that other adjustable dumbbell handle that, again, doesn't take up any room. So whatever. I guess those are technically the two things left. I might just take them down so I don't have to deal with people.
just to not have to have another conversation with anybody about
Oh man. Yeah. Dude, it is. I have enough conversations and messages with people going on a daily basis between
that you don't need
Instagram, Discord, actual work things, that I just don't need this other one of people talking back and forth on a way to save $10 on.
I was gonna say, and then it's like you're bartering over $10,
Yes.
and you're just like,
so
come on,
so annoying. Yeah. So that's Marketplace for you.
That's Facebook Marketplace, but that does go hand in hand with the home gym typically.
It does. I can see it, especially. It gets addicting when you live in a bigger area. You know, like for me, when I put the 250-mile radius, that gets me Minneapolis, Des Moines, Omaha. So I'm hitting several markets. The thing that sucks is, unless it's something you really want, those are all a good bit of it's a good drive.
Right.
So
you'd only really make that for something pretty well worth
right. Like
it,
one thing that we've seen a lot of lately has been like the Rogue Abrams GHD machine. Yeah. And I think new it's like 800, and I don't know what does Rogue charge another 100 for shipping, 200 for shipping. I don't even.
Might cost $1,000.
Yeah, it might cost $1,000. Like you see them pop up for like 600, but then you're like, okay, but then for me personally, I need to go to U-Haul, rent a trailer, and that's the fucking god awfulest worst place you could stand in line. I had to experience that this weekend. It's just fucking terrible.
You had to get. I thought last time when you got up for the lat pull down, it went good.
Yeah, because I was there at 6 a.m. I was the only one there, and even then, I still had to wait 20 minutes. I have a thing in here. Well, we can talk about it some other time. But there were 7 of us in line to get a truck. There was one guy working, so the same guy that checked you in also had to get your truck. Took me 50 minutes in the line to get a U-Haul trailer. I was ready to murder someone by the time I got out of there. God, it's like my blood was boiling, and I don't get that feeling very often. But standing that U-Haul line was just like torture. It was hell on earth.
But you weren't doing it for gym equipment, though.
No, it was some stupid thing my wife had to have me move. It was, if you can't tell, I had a very bitter feeling about this whole thing. I literally stood in line longer than I had the trailer. I'm not lying. Yeah. I stood in line longer. The guy was like, okay, I got you down for 3 hours. I'm like, yep, sounds good. Got the trailer, moved this piece of furniture, got it to where it had to go, dropped the trailer back off. I might have had the trailer for 40 minutes, maybe.
Yeah.
And I had to stand in line way too long. And also, I had to go to a different U-Haul location before I got to this one. So the U-Haul process took me like 3 hours almost to get a trailer. It was insane. But my point is, what I was trying to say is, like you see like a Rogue Abrams, a Rogue GHD pop up, and it's in Omaha, and they want $600 for it. Okay, by the time I rent a trailer, spend 5 hours round trip driving, doing the whole thing, pay for gas. It's like I kind of wasted like a half a day or more, paid a bunch of stuff to save maybe a couple $100. Like, there's just a lot of things where it doesn't really make sense unless it's right in your backyard, you know?
Right. Or if you're going to be there for something else or whatever it is.
I will say, there's been one item that I've been on the prowl for on Marketplace ever since I started. Do you want to know what that one item is, Tanner?
Yes.
It is a Herman Miller embody chair. I've been on the prowl for one. I've contacted multiple people about them, ready to pull the trigger.
That people have had them for sale?
They have had them for sale. Never in Sioux Falls. There's been a couple times where I've been driving to the cities and people have had them listed for like $700. And every time there's one for $700,
So for people that don't know, we're talking about the nicest office chair. Tanner has one in his workplace.
Is that what? That's what mine is, right?
Yep,
Or
the
what?
Embody chair. And
That's
retail,
the model of
yeah,
Herman
the
Miller.
Embody is the model. Herman
That's what
Miller
mine
is the
is.
maker. Yep. And depending on the color,
And I can tell I can tell you it's a nice chair.
Yeah.
You got to test drive mine.
I did, and it's sweet, and it lives up to it. And depending on the model and the color options, there's a few customizations you can make to it. Retail is anywhere between $1,800 and $2,200 on this thing. That's $2,200 for an office chair.
Yeah.
And which I just can't bring myself to do. But they do pop up somewhat frequently on Marketplace, and they're usually in that like $700 to $1,000 range. And like I said, there's a few that's popped up in the cities for like 700-ish, and they look pretty clean. And every time I message about it, they're like, oh yeah, sorry, someone came and got it today. Like they never last. And a week ago, one popped up in Sioux Falls for $500. And I'm like, in my backyard for $500? I will be there now. And I messaged the guy. The only thing that sucked about it, it was like a bright green. The chair was bright green, but you can buy replacement pads. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just rock bright green for a while. I'll spend $200, get the black pads on it, and it looks sweet. And because everything about it was I loved. It had like the white accents. It was like the one I would get. And I messaged the guy right away. I'm like, hey, do you know roughly how old this chair is? Just because I'm like, I also don't want to get it if it's like a 12-year-old chair. You know, it's been around.
Right.
And he's like, I don't know for sure, but like a couple years at the oldest. So I'm like, okay, all right, it's in good shape. Or I'm thinking in my head, it's in good shape. My next question. And he replies back right away, which also surprised me. So then right away I ask, I go, it looks like it's in good shape. Does everything work well? Is there any damage, anything like that?
Right.
And he goes, nope, everything looks great. Everything's great. So I reply, I'm like, all right, I will take this. I will come get this whenever.
Right.
Never replied. He replied to those first two instantly, never replied. And then I'm like, this is like 9 o'clock at night. So I'm thinking, well, he went to bed. Okay, I don't blame him.
Right.
So in the morning, I'm also not going to be annoying and bug him first thing in the morning. So it's like 10. I'm like, hey, just wanted to make sure you got my message last night. I can come pick this up right now if you're ready. And nothing. And then later that day, I sent one more. I'm like, because I want this damn chair so bad.
Freaking chair.
I'm like, hey, is this still available? I send that message like an hour later. I look, the listing was deleted and gone. So I don't know if
Someone else
decided not to sell it or if someone picked it up. But the fact that he was so responsive to my messages and then all of a sudden ghosted me really pissed me off. And I thought I finally had my Embody chair, but I guess I just got to keep on looking.
Yep. That's funny that it was so close though, too.
It was like on my side of town too. It was like 5 minutes away. I was just so ready to go get that thing.
Yeah. So in year 2 of home gym, is there anything big that you're thinking about changing then, or not really? I think we've kind of talked about it before. Like you didn't like it because without expanding, there's not a lot you would change.
No, there's not a lot I can do. I have a few just like little things on my wish list, like things that are, $100 some or not. You did one thing recently that really caught my attention. Actually, really surprised me because I'm sure I was aware of it at one point, had forgotten about it, became re-aware of it. And you got those Bremy weight pegs. And I thought those looked really cool.
That's for my vintage weight.
I was wondering what you were doing with those.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm using those. I've got some custom Darko ones. What I'm doing is crewing this rack out as much as possible.
Okay.
That it's I decided I want to get as many unique touches into this thing.
So that's what's holding the actual weights themselves, is those, like the vintage weights are on those.
Yeah, they will be. They're not now, because my problem is those style, like a lot of like the Bells of Steel weight plates bolt on from the front. Well, the way these work, you put a bolt, and there'll be like a top bolt and a bottom bolt on the weight. Like, is that what yours are like on your rack?
Well, actually, mine are like the pin mounted ones where you, you push them in and turn them, kind of like a drink spotter,
Right, like a drink spotter. Well, the ones I have, the Bells of Steel one are just bolt on the top and the bottom. You put the bolt through, put the nut on the back. That works fine. Well, the Bremy ones and the Darko ones I both have, those are just a big bolt that goes straight through. The problem is,
are they not lining up?
No, my rack is bolted to the ground.
Oh, so you can't get behind
this far from the wall, and the bolt is this long. So you physically can't do it. But I mean, I can. I just have to take everything off, unbolt the, take the nuts off of what's bolted it down to the floor and lift the rack up.
Okay.
And then I can put the weight pegs in and then bolt it back down.
A little bigger process than what you would hope for on something like that.
Yeah. So I haven't done it yet because I'm waiting until I have everything. I'm waiting on 2 more pairs of plates that are getting shipped to me. And then I was waiting on these Bremy pegs, and I'm waiting on like another Bells of Steel peg. So because I only want to do this once.
Yeah.
Taking it down and putting it back up. So I'm just waiting for everything to get here. So right now all those pegs are just kind of sitting in on one of the cross members.
What size did you get for those Bremy weight horns? Did you get the 12-inch?
7-inch. 7-inch. I think those are. They match up the same length as my Darko ones.
All right.
So I'll have various different weight pegs on it, but that's kind of what I'm like. It's all they're crew members, which I like that part of it.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting on a couple other pairs of vintage plates that are on the way, some other cool ones. And I haven't really shared any big pictures or anything of this
you have been
project.
doing pretty good keeping it under wraps on this whole thing.
Yeah.
So
I can tell you it's pretty freaking sweet.
Well, yeah, I haven't seen any of it yet, so I'm very So is there
and I got Efren, some Efren touches on it now too, and I just want to wait till it's finished before I
I have not seen a thing of this, so that's why I'm
because right now it's kind of only looks half finished, and when I get it done, then I think it's going to be pretty cool.
These ones that are coming, will that actually finish it out, or will you have empty spots still?
When I take it down to add these other plate pins, I did some measuring even just today, and I'm like, if I do this right, the pegs I have will finish it out for 4 rows of 3, so 12 plates. But I figured I can space them slightly different, and I can actually fit a 5th row, I can actually have 15. But I only need it to hold 12 right now.
Yeah.
But I'm going to prepare it so that it will hold 15, so that way I don't have to someday rearrange it. So it's going to be able to hold 15, but the very, very bottom will be empty. It's just it'll basically looked finished with 12, but
so you said
be ready
like
for
you
15.
have enough plates on the way to actually finish out the 12? Or
it'll finish out the 12.
Okay.
And that's with me incorporating a couple things on there won't be vintage, but they're things that I want represented in the I have my plan for 12, and with the couple that are on the way, it'll be my 12.
All right.
To at least make it 10, and that allows me 3 other ones for the future here that there's a few different ones it's just if I ever buy, basically the ones I would have left are really expensive plates, and it'll be the decision if I ever, I've explained it to you before. Yeah. It'll just be the decision if I ever decide on a whim to spend to most people, I've already spent way too much on this project, but it would take it into another stratosphere, the plates I would be buying to potentially go beyond the 12 sets that will be on there now.
Real next level. That would actually impress some people now.
No, what it would do is people would just start to not even believe that it's possible that they cost that. They'd be like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. How does it cost that much? That can't be right. Is someone playing a trick on you?
Right. Yeah. Who's been brainwashed into thinking that this was a good idea?
Yeah. So that's my project though, that I'm waiting to, people have seen bits and pieces of it, but I'm waiting for the full unveiling when I get it all done.
Well, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. I don't know. So I mentioned that, those Bremy weight pegs. I was looking at what's the best way, because what's annoying about my rack is, a 5/8 rack on the side where those weight pegs would go in. You only have holes like every 6 inches. So it puts them.
Oh,
do you get what I'm saying? It's not,
it's not every,
it's not
whatever.
it's not like a 1-inch rack where you have holes every 2 inches all the way up and down. On the front, you have the holes that are
is yours 1 inch or 5/8?
It's 5/8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I have 5/8. So on the side, and it might be every 8 inches even.
Right.
On the front, you have the every 2 inch, but on the side, it's like every 8. So it's these huge gaps. And when you do that style where it's a solid pin through,
right,
it's not super flexible, and that's because the weight pin, the ones I have are the ones that are pins. So you can put them, it mounts into the front, but then the weight horn goes out the side. So you can put it anywhere.
And that's just where, when you're doing 5/8, you're just kind of limited with that system, what that system allows you to do.
The Bremy ones are cool that they're all stainless steel, so
I know they were
part.
attention getting. That's why when I saw those, they really jumped out at me.
Yeah, those are cool. What else on the home gym front then? Anything for the title topic?
I mean, I know this will
topic?
be a evolving situation as it has been for the last year.
Yeah.
Famous
it when people say when people do the thing like, oh yeah, we'll see about that.
I know. Okay, so I would say like it's gotten bigger than what I expected last year, but not in insane ways. A lat pull down was a wish list item, and I just didn't know that would happen as soon as it did. But now, if I'm going to add anything big, I've said a GHD would be really cool to have. It would be nice, but that takes up so much room that all of a sudden that's a whole different footprint to make that work in the gym. And I would love to have one. That's high on the list. I'm just not sure how to make that fit. So, I mean, that's a possibility someday. And then but that's the thing is, once I knock that wall down and do that, well, then all of a sudden I have more room, more space for other stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe that's a someday kind of thing. But as of right now, I'm pretty damn happy with the space.
Do you think you'll be able to get strong?
On that topic, man, I got to say, my squat's been feeling really good. Deadlift's been feeling okay. Bench has just been feeling like, whatever Juggernaut throws at it, it's never enough. Like at bench, I don't know if
just keep horse cocking it.
It doesn't even. It just feels so good. Like this is. I never feel like I'm. Granted, I'm not like that strong of a bencher. I'm not like benching 400 pounds. But I'm just saying, the way Juggernaut is programming my bench right now, it's on track to be the best it's ever been ever. And it's a good feeling to just, and I don't even feel like I really got to hardly psych myself up for bench. I just go and do it, and it always feels good. And that's a really good spot to be in on a lift, to where it sort of feels effortless and you just have so much confidence and control on the lift. But yeah, squat's not far from that either. So, I mean, you get really tired doing squat, but squat's been going great too.
So it's Juggernaut AI.
It is Juggernaut AI. Oh, okay. I do got to say this. I think we did mention coming back from Judy's. Did we talk about the gluteator?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So just really quick for people, Judy has this like the best glute machine called the gluteator. And what I quickly learned was 3 reps on like the lightweight on that, my glutes were just on fire. And you're like, no, I can't feel anything. You had to like double the weight I did, and then do 10 reps to be like, yeah, I'm starting to feel something. And when I doubled the weight after a rep, I'm like, yeah, I can't even do it. That got me thinking, maybe my glutes are severely underdeveloped. Like maybe and I do think I'm pretty quad dominant when it comes to squatting. Right. So, I can squat I think it's safe to say I can squat over 500 pounds right now. So it's not like it's not like you can't have any, like no glutes.
You're right.
But at the same time,
be doing something to squat.
But maybe that is a weak. Maybe my glutes are underdeveloped in comparison to my quads or even my hamstrings. Maybe.
Right.
So I've been picking out some exercises that are more glute specific. And just on Monday, after squats, I did walking lunges. I've done lunges before, but walking lunges with a dumbbell. I'm not sure if I've ever really done walking lunges. Yeah. So I did those, and then the back extension, but really putting your hips into it, really making it a glute exercise and not a back exercise.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm telling you, I've never felt soreness in my glutes like I have the last 2 days. It's like deep in the muscle, like the meat of the muscle. I'm like, something's happening here. I've been training a long time. I've never felt this before. So I'm doing something.
So something's working.
Something's being addressed here. So if I get these glutes figured out, man, look out, world.
What if it makes your squat go from like whatever it is to like 600 pounds or something like that?
That'd be pretty sweet. That'd be really cool. I'd also take deadlift gains while we're at it, if that's the case.
Sprinkle a little of those in there too.
Don't need to be greedy with those things. Spread the love here.
So it's not the gluteator, but it almost seems like it is.
You could say gluteator is a state of mind more than anything.
Just out there horse cocking gluteators, makeshift gluteators. What other topics do we want to hit on this week?
We can skip those top 3.
Okay. We do have we used to be a proper country segment if we want to play again this week.
Hell yeah.
Maybe that's what we should wrap up on is we used to be a proper country segment. I feel
like it.
We haven't talked enough about. So you remember this is just the second week of we used to be a proper country, but it's where
I don't think I
just
could ever forget.
read an idea, a topic, whatever it is, a theme, and it's just I don't know. Does that make us think like we used to be a proper country or not?
Does it
And then
pass
we'll
the
just
test?
Suss out whether it makes us feel like we used to be a proper country. All right. Let's see. Restaurants having actual physical menus instead of QR codes.
Okay.
None of this scan a QR code to get it, see what's on the menu. Here's a menu. Here's what we have to.
I actually
offer.
think the whole world has sort of agreed on this because you don't really see this one anymore. The QR code. That one, maybe for a drink menu, maybe, but
yeah,
I don't. I think that's full. Well, I think
Do you think we've already just I think we've already gone full circle on that one. Went back to a proper country.
I think we went back to being a proper country there. Yeah, I don't have much resistance because it's been so long since I've encountered a QR code situation.
Yeah,
and we do eat out a decent amount, so I think we're okay.
So we are basically a proper country.
I think we are a proper country. You know what I thought you were going to say there? This is what I thought you were going to hit me with. Restaurants where they had an actual smoking section.
Where it's not really separated by anything. The air's all still open. It's just there's a 3/4 height wall that separates
this divider wall. That's
a
waist high. So it separates you from the smoker next to you. Because there's nothing like just sucking down some cigs while I'm eating this omelet at Perkins first thing in the morning.
I like the idea that it was even separated by section though, as if that as if that does anything though.
It's the old comparison, like they peed in the pool, but it's over there, so it doesn't matter.
Right. That's
like, we're all in the same pool here, man.
Yeah. Okay. How about when the Food Network actually taught you how to cook instead of just reality TV shows?
God, we used to be a proper freaking country.
Used to be a proper freaking country.
Food Networks allowed they're allowed 2 game shows. This is it. Food Network. I'm coming in. We're revamping the whole thing. You get 2 game shows. You get Supermarket Sweep, where people are running around getting food like their life depends on it.
Yep.
And you get the Iron Chef. That's what you get. And the Japanese Iron Chef, not this American bastardized version. You get the one with subtitles.
Or dubbing.
That is the one you get. And you're going to watch it. And Chef, God, what was his name? He was always the best one.
What nationality was he?
Japanese, obviously. Actually, God, I have to okay, I have a story about this. Iron Chef.
The Iron Chef of Pounding Vaj. What movie is that from?
I can't Jonah Hill. Actually. Is it super bad or not?
Super bad, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just seems like that should
Vaj.
be who was the best Japanese?
I probably will remember the name once you say it too.
Iron Chef Morimoto. Okay,
yeah.
That's the one that sounded right, but I'm like, is that just me thinking of the only Japanese name I can think of? Iron Chef Morimoto. When I was in 8th grade, my buddy, I don't know how or why, he wrote a fan letter to Iron Chef Morimoto, and like 6 months later, he got autographed pictures from Iron Chef Morimoto and like
that's cool.
Some like chopsticks or something from him, and it was like the craziest thing ever that he sent this letter and actually got something back.
For as good as that show is, it probably ruined the Food Network, though.
I think so,
because it
changed the trajectory of the whole network.
Like, what's Chopped? You ever seen Chopped?
Nope, don't like it.
Yeah.
The boss of cakes or whatever. Don't like it.
Yeah. What about Is It Cake? I don't even know if that's a Food Network show.
I don't know, but I don't think I'll like it.
Yeah. Chopped is good, but there is no like It is just all game shows, though.
No.
It is all game shows and reality.
We
TV.
will allow.
Have you ever seen the Great British Bake Off? Not a Food Network.
Don't
show.
like
That's
it. Nope, haven't seen it. Don't like it. We will
like
allow
Netflix or
diners,
something.
drive-ins, and dives is allowed because it's not a game show. He's just featuring great food. We will allow that. Guy Fieri is allowed in.
That I agree. That actually is okay for the
Yep.
Food Network.
Yep.
That
It's
yep,
like
I
gym
would
tours.
agree.
People always want to
Yes.
see what someone else has going on over there.
What about the dead guy? Was that Food Network or he wasn't on the Food Network?
The
anyways,
dead
was he?
guy.
I don't know. People love him.
Oh, Anthony Bourdain. That's
Yeah,
allowed as
right.
well. Anthony Bourdain.
Was that Food Network?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure Anthony
Yeah.
Bourdain was on Food Network. Whatever the hell it was called. And also the other one was Parts Unknown. Was that the next one
Parts
we had?
Unknown,
That one
yeah.
might not have been on Food Network. But I
Okay.
remember for years, my first job, as an adult, I'd come home on lunch break. I'd make whatever shitty food I was going to make because I didn't know how to eat properly at all. And Anthony Bourdain, what the hell was that show called? This is driving me crazy. I can't think what that show's called. Come on, Tanner. No reservations. No reservations. No reservations would be on at every lunch break. And I'm like, this is the coolest show ever. And just watch it every day. Then go back to work.
Yeah. Guy Fieri's fun because he's also like a meme in himself. too.
Yeah. But he embraces it, He's
Right.
he's cool. He's cool with the whole thing.
Yeah. So that really does make you think that we used to be a proper country,
Yeah.
though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. 100%. We used to be a proper country.
Yeah.
We used to be a proper Food Network country. That's for sure.
That's used to be. Keyword used to be. All right. What's delicious? Or fuck, that's delicious. That's not on the Food Network.
No, that's like Vice.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
probably. Well, not anymore. Whatever it is, I guess. I
But they
suppose it's
have. I think Vice Network is still a thing. Yeah, it
Okay.
is because we have it on our
Okay.
on our Hulu
I
Live.
thought Vice went tits up or something.
Well,
certain parts of it.
it's
or
that weird
something.
thing in corporate America where you can like be bankrupt but still be a thing, kind of. I don't know how that
Yeah.
works. Number
But
crunching.
Action Bronson, that's a good. I actually was really into that for a while, and I'm just thinking I haven't watched it for a few years. I loved that show. Like that was a perfect chill show for me.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. There's some funny episodes for sure.
Yeah,
Because you can just tell he's just so stoned a lot of the so stoned a lot of the times.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just in his totally own world.
Okay, last one. Let me tell you if this makes you think that we used to be a proper country or not. Cars without touch screens, just a simple stereo and some climate controls.
We used to be a proper freaking country. God. Yeah. This is one that a lot of people are coming back around on, though, because they've been getting a lot of pushback. So automakers are, yes, you got to have screens because there's so many menus and features and stuff in new cars. You need 10,000 buttons to address all of those. It look like you're in an airplane cockpit.
Yeah.
If you really had a switch for everything a car can do now. But
Yeah.
I think most people would pretty much unanimously agree. Give me like a volume knob and some HVAC controls that are on a dial that I can just touch
Yes.
without looking at. Things like heated seats. Give me a little switch for that. Don't make me click into HVAC menu, warm. Don't make me do all that stuff.
Yeah. I might prefer the cockpit with all the buttons and knobs and stuff.
Okay. Let me see here.
It almost reminds me of say a 1979 Cadillac where it's like they did start to have a lot of options, but it was just all still buttons and switches where it's like, oh my God, there's so many switches in here.
There's a new car that kind of does that. And I'm gonna mess up the name here, but it's the Ineos Grenadier.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the Freestyle.
No, definitely not that. And they've tried to do the whole off-roader thing. And there's damn near a button for everything. It kind of sort of looks like an airplane cockpit. There's a lot of dials and switches when you look at the interior on this compared to your standard vehicle you would see now.
Right. We did used to be a proper freaking
But we did. Dude, tell you what, the Malibu, you got a volume knob. You got a temperature knob. You got a fan speed knob. You got temperature knobs. You got, I don't know, kind of just the three knobs because that's all the car can really do.
It doesn't do that much.
Let's just be real. Cars do too many things now.
Well,
just
we used
drive
to
me
be a proper
point A
friggin'
to
country
point
where
B.
You got in a car and it frickin' took you somewhere.
Exactly.
You got these frickin' self-driving cars.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the smart car. Not so smart, is it?
Classic. Frickin'. And they used to be powered by gasoline, dinosaur bones, petroleum.
That's right. And they were naturally aspirated. Didn't have to worry about this turbo crap or a plug-in plugs.
And we used to be a proper country without fuel injection. They were carbureted.
Right. Take me back.
They were extremely finicky, and you had to actually in order to drive the car, you had to also be a quasi mechanic.
Take me back to those days.
Where you could bust out your wrenches. You could actually work on it yourself.
Back when we had V8 engines that were 5-liter V8s that made 200 horsepower and got 8 miles to the gallon.
Yeah. That is the funny carbureted, so our C10 Chevy is carbureted.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have to say that fuel injection was a good invention. I think there's a reason that, fuel injected.
Isn't that where all like the huge advances came in, like just power and fuel efficiency and all that? Is that it wasn't just dumping crazy amounts of fuel into the situation?
Right. That being said, I wouldn't want to, because you can change over to fuel injection, and that's not any, that's a doable thing. But I'm like, no, I like the
retroness of it, the experience, that carburetor.
But I wouldn't be like, yeah, I wish my current car was was a carbureted, so I could just adjust it and screw it up worse.
Because I've never had a carbureted car as far as I know.
Right.
The oldest car I had was that '88 Suburban. I'm pretty sure that was fuel injected.
I'm sure it was fuel injected. You would basically know if it was carbureted because it wouldn't run right.
Well, okay, that's what I was gonna say. Because if you switched your thing to being fuel injected, would that also get rid of a lot of that fuel smell? Does that come from the carburation process or? The carburation process, the carburetor in the process.
Right. Yeah, that would change that a little bit too. Mm-hmm. Like that would, I don't know if maybe that 100% it does too, but yeah, like, because you can see the fuel, like if you open the hood and like open the carburetor, you can watch the fuel running through there. And so, so I don't know how that's contained differently when it's a fuel injection. I actually don't really, I know how the carburetor works. I don't really know how fuel, like that's the thing. That's kind of the whole thing is you don't really even have to know how that stuff works because it works.
It just does the thing.
Yeah, because it actually works.
One thing you take for granted now, and I mean, I pretty much do 100%, and like young people probably don't even have any perception of this, is now when cars go by on the road, or let's say your neighborhood, the street in front of your house, a car goes by, outside of the car making car noises, you don't really know the car was there. An old car goes by, you smell it for like 5 minutes. You're like, an old car was here. And to think that there was just like thousands of those on the road all the time, just stinking up the place. It's kind of a wild concept, actually.
It really makes you think that we used to be a proper country.
Here's one. Back when gasoline was leaded.
Yes.
Have you ever seen the charts that align the rise of serial killers with leaded gasoline?
No.
Oh, so you're not familiar with this at all?
No.
So I'm definitely going to mess some of these details up here, but like lead poisoning makes you go like crazy,
Okay, yeah.
And I think part of one of the side effects of lead poisoning is like you get really aggressive or it's something like that. And you can basically, someone's done it. There's a chart out there. Here, I'm just going to type it in right now. Serial killer, lead. And there's like theories on this. Yeah, the lead crime hypothesis.
Okay.
And yeah, you can pull up a chart and it'll show the amount of leaded gas per gas lead in tons per 1,000 people. And it peaks in like 1972. And then it's overlaid on the chart of violent crimes per 100,000 people. And basically the amount of leaded gas burned aligns almost perfectly with the violent crimes being committed. And when the leaded gas goes down, the violent crime rate also goes down too. So there is this hypothesis that like all of the lead gas in the air was actually creating violent criminals, because apparently that is one of the side effects of lead, I guess. I'm not sure how
how like deeply studied or scrutinized this has been, but yeah, it is a thing.
We used to be a proper country with leaded gasoline.
Mm-hmm. Take me back.
Yeah. Okay. I think that wraps up We Used to Be a Proper Country for the week. What else do we have this week? I would mention for everyone to check out Massenomics.com. We don't have any horse stall mat coaster sets available now, but you can sign up for a back in stock notification. So that way when we get them back in stock, you can have first grabs at getting one in the second run through, hopefully. Otherwise, check out our usual stuff, our tees, our shorts, and that sort of thing. The Drink Spotter Light has been restocked, and the Drink Spotter XL. So we now have stock on both Light and XL. Light's been out for a while, so you can get back in on that action. On Massenomics YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you go subscribe. Last week's video at the time of our recording was Darko's tour of his workshop that Tommy walked through in the workshop. A really cool video. Check that out. The video that's coming out before this podcast episode is our review of the Tsunami Bar with special guests Boogs and Mikey on the Tsunami Bar.
No, Tsunami Bar is Juji and Mikey.
Well, Juji and Mikey. Yeah, Juji and Mikey. I was thinking of the power pole. Yeah, so the Tsunami Bar is Juji and Mikey. So that's a fun review. And then we've got a power pole review coming out. I guess I spilled the beans on the power pole review. That's coming soon too. And then a whole bunch more home gym tours that we've got coming out. We do the best home gym tours of all of YouTube. Other people try as they may. At some point, I'm going to start saying nobody has more than us. I haven't fact checked that yet, but as we start getting through our catalog of recorded videos, that's certainly going to be true, that nobody has more quality home gym tours than the Massenomics YouTube channel. So we are your one-stop shop for home gym tours.
We're the boots on the ground. YouTube. We're getting the real people out there with home gyms, not these.
That's right.
Not these big mega gyms. We're like
we're getting
right to the community
people.
Of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Real Americans out there
that know what things were like when we were a proper country with home gyms and tours on YouTube.
That's right.
One last thing. The podcast reviews have been coming in on 5-star Apple Podcast reviews. We are getting close to 600. It's 581 as of right now. As it gets really close, it just gets closer and closer. So make sure to leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts if you haven't already. You could be number 600 if you leave one now, because there's like a lag from when they're left until when they actually get recorded. So I say it's 581 right now. It's probably like 585. So go leave us a review, and you could be lucky number 600. That's the coveted spot. Tommy, where do they find you at?
Wait a minute.
Oh,
we're jumping the gun.
Shoot. Here. My gosh. Oh my God. Glad you noticed something. Would have not often that I forget to talk about some of our most important things. BuildFastFormula.com. I think they just restocked a flavor. Let me see if I can figure out what flavor it was. Yeah.
Some lemon Vasoblitz, maybe.
Was it Vasoblitz?
Let's find out.
I'm looking on the website right now too to see what Vasoblitz.
Legendary Lemon.
You can get Vasoblitz, their pre-workout, non-caffeinated pre-workout. You got Blue Raz Rampage, Was Up Watermelon, or Legendary Lemon is the new restocked flavor. Check Vasoblitz if you want more of the, your typical caffeinated pre-workout supplement. I would check out their Full Blitz, fully loaded pre-workout formula, and then their 80-20 protein powder, which is a mix of casein and whey protein. I have that every single day. Check out all the supplements at buildfastformula.com. Make sure to use discount code Massenomics. It saves you 10% on everything that you order from Build Fast Formula. Thank you, Build Fast.
This episode is also brought to you by Barefoot Shoes. Right now, Barefoot Shoes has some exciting new products on the horizon. They've recently introduced the Gen 2 of the Ursus shoe, and first colorway up was the all black and the Arctic white, all white is next on the list. That's available in a low top and a high top. So this will be the first ever high top in the Gen 2. You say Gen 2, Gen 1, what's the difference? The Gen 1 is your true barefoot shoe, feels like you're wearing nothing, where the Gen 2 gives you just a little bit more that sneaker look and feel. Again, we're not talking like a big sole on this thing, but just enough to make it come off a little bit more like a traditional shoe. If you want to get in on the pre-order of the white one, or even just buy yourself a pair of the black ones, make sure to use code Massenomics at barefoot.store. You can save 10% on your next order. Code Massenomics saves you 10%. Thank you, Barefoot Shoes.
Did I miss anything else?
That's a good question.
Probably, but that's what episode 471 is for. Am I right?
Yeah, we'll play catch up on that one.
Okay, Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Bear. Just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See you.